Maybe he's a keeper of justice. Did you ever think about that? Another inmate will kill you.
Who's paying for this?
Okay, angry judges. This video coming from Law and Crime. Law and Crime has really been pumping out the content lately.
That you told police in this case over the phone.
Investigator Johnson.
Wait a minute, don't interrupt her question.
Who's he? Why is he getting sassy? He getting
Let her
sassy.
finish your question.
She's asking the same question over and over.
Be quiet.
Oh.
No, she's.
Be quiet.
Oh.
Now.
Who you
She
pointing
asked
at?
you a question.
Who you pointing at?
You
Wrong
wait till
place,
she
buddy.
finishes
I'm a
the
grown
question,
man.
And
Wrong
then
place.
answer it, okay?
With your
And
tiny
she won't
mustache.
interrupt your answer either. Because the court reporter can't take down two people at once. Is that clear? Sir?
Yeah, that's very clear.
All right.
This is somebody's dad right here. Somebody just saw their dad in that behavior, didn't they?
Now, Detective Kirkle, as we talk about compromising a crime scene, now you can confirm your knowledge of a wallet being removed, correct?
Yes.
But you don't know if there was other items, like a weapon, that could have also been removed from that crime scene, correct?
Trying to keep it reasonable down.
You don't know
Colin.
the other item had been moved from one place and put in another place.
Objection, Your Honor. There is absolutely no evidence that anything was moved.
That's right. There's no evidence of that.
Is that the
Don't
judge?
imply something, counsel, that there is no evidence
Dude,
of it.
oh my God, that's so funny. He called it out of there because lawyers do this all the time. I mean, granted, it's part of their job, but they'll straight up just gaslight you into being like, so you don't know where it is, right? But an elephant could have come out of my ass and pushed the car, right? And then planted the gun behind the driver's seat. But you don't know that. And you don't have that elephant, do you? Because it's in my ass. Like, they literally do this all the time. And I'm so happy that that judge just called him out on it.
That's right. There's no evidence of that. Don't imply something, counsel, that there is no evidence of. None.
Thank you,
There's no
Judge.
evidence introduced in this case by any witness that is even close to that. That assumes facts, not in evidence.
That's right.
Sustained. Move on to a relevant question. Don't imply things that have not occurred and are not in evidence. Move on.
Don't do
I'd like to
it.
now go to State
Justice.
83, please, the during video.
And some people were
This is the Derek Chauvin case? What?
swearing.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And would you describe other people's demeanors
My gavel's
as
ready.
upset or angry?
I don't know if you've seen anybody be killed, but it's upsetting.
The answer is
Yes, I was just going to object, Your Honor.
as argumentative, and you can proceed.
What?
We are outside the hearing of the jury. Ms. Hanson, I'm advising you, do not argue with counsel, and specifically, do not argue with the court.
Is the cameras off? Are the cameras off?
No, they are not. We are on the record.
Okay.
You will not argue with the court. You will not argue with counsel.
Mm-hmm.
They have the right to ask
She said,
questions. Your job is to answer them.
I was finishing my answer.
I will determine when your answer is done.
She's
Okay,
passionate. Oh, the Mark Sievers case. What?
What was the threat? From who to whom?
In Mr. Mummer's office building, there was a gentleman who was evidently looking for a vantage point on the floor below Mr. Mummer, at a place where there's kids in school, where they organize the kids to go to school.
My office is one floor above the Early Learning Coalition on Winkler. Go ahead.
Okay. They called the police on him. The police arrived. He said that, or the woman he talked to, he told the woman that she wanted to know what he was doing. He says everybody will know in a couple of days. It's going to be all over the news. Evidently, it involved the building across the street. Hired the sheriff's department to stay in the parking lot. I had a discussion with the sheriff.
Tired.
Who was it?
I don't remember his name.
He said get to the point.
So what would that have to do with videoing random people leaving my courtroom? Not that I'm aware of. This is the first I've ever had it happen, and I've been a judge for 12 years. At least it's the first time it's been reported to me, and my staff's pretty good.
I honestly think judges are borderline just immune to just gaslighting and manipulation, because you guys know that's almost the whole basis of being a defense attorney. I mean, happens all the time. And a lot of times the judges have to just let them do their job, but when the attorney kind of starts doing it to them or to their face, they're just like, what point are you going to try to spin here? And once they figure it out, they're going to call you out on it.
You know, we're all putting an investigator out in the lobby, just like the state does with their investigators. They have them.
They don't videotape people.
No, they don't. And I understand the videotaping.
Who's paying for this?
We are.
Mr. Mummer's not paying for it?
No. No. But anyway, Your Honor, the point was we weren't sure what
Well, I mean, before you said it was a threat, now it's reactions from people. I mean, which is it?
Well, no, in this particular case, the incident we're talking about, he was outside in the lobby with the TV cameras, and he was approached by one of the bailiffs and asked what he was doing there, and he said he was hired by me. The bailiff came to me and said he can't film there, and he said there was a court order, and I immediately shut it down and had him leave the building.
Well, it's general practice. I think there's actually signs that there's no video recording in this courthouse, period. It's not even my rule. It's a rule by the chief judge and for the whole building.
Oh my God.
Which is why you have to get approval to videotape in here.
I really like this judge's approach. He's listening to all the fluff, and then he's figuring out what point the dude is trying to spin, and he's just ripping his spine out of his butthole. Sorry, there's been a lot of butthole conversation today. And I like it because it's not power trippy.
And which is why I expel people from my courtroom who do it.
Okay.
And I'm be blunt. This has a feel to it of, I can't put my thumb on it, but I wouldn't say nefarious, but it just doesn't smell right.
Yeah.
And again, Your Honor, absolutely no disrespect intended for the court.
Are you the investigator for any of the other collateral cases involved with this one that are in the civil division?
This is stinky. Doesn't smell
You're
right.
on.
You know what? Please do that. If anyone ever says something to you and you feel like it's kind of like, manipulating, just say to them like, this doesn't smell right. This just doesn't smell right. And I need a minute to like sit on it.
Does it pass the smell test?
You need him for anything else in this case?
They're trying to give us
I think
the
you should
stink.
go.
I think you should go.
But that other gentleman, I need to talk to him. Make sure he still gets here, but I think you should leave for the rest of the proceedings in this case and any of the co-defendants.
No further
Mr. Mummer,
questions.
are you the gentleman who was filming outside of my courtroom? Oh. Come on up. You stand over there by Mr. Mummer.
I'm sorry. I love justice. I love it. And I apologize whenever you guys feel like I look like thirsty or something in the stream. I love a man of justice. It really makes me think about when people like see somebody in public and they're like, wow, that guy's not attractive. Maybe he has a bunch of money. Like maybe that's why, she's with him. Or maybe he loves justice. Maybe he's a keeper of justice. Did you ever think about that?
Have you ever been diagnosed with a mental disorder that would make it difficult for you to understand why you're here today?
Yes and no.
Are you taking medication for that?
No.
Does it affect your ability to understand what we're talking about?
No.
Sir, why were you filming outside of my courtroom?
I was hired by Mr. Olson.
And what specifically did he hire you to do?
He was worried about, he said there was a shady character he was concerned about, and he had me monitoring the lobby of the courtroom. And that's all I know. He's a friend of mine, so I decided to come out and help him out.
He give you the name of this person?
No, he didn't know the name of the guy. He was a tall gentleman, tall, skinny, elderly gentleman.
And did he, so he gave you a description?
Yes.
And did he point him out in my courtroom?
Not in the courtroom, but when we were in the lobby, he was out talking to me. He said that's the guy he was concerned about.
Well, I was under the impression you were filming more than one person coming out of my courtroom.
True.
He also told me, he said, well, I'm there to film reactions from the witnesses leaving as well.
For what purpose?
I don't know. I didn't ask.
Did you talk to Mr. Olson today downstairs?
When I came in, yeah.
I saw him down there. I think I told him to leave. Is there anything else going on in this courthouse?
No.
If he's not involved in that, he needs to leave the building. How much did he pay you?
That's still to be determined.
Okay. Have you done this kind of work for him before outside of a courtroom?
Not for him, no.
He's
Okay.
calling him out so hard.
You can see why I'm concerned. It has almost an air of witness intimidation about it.
He wasn't supposed to call it out, but he did. Like, he knew what this was from the jump, but he needed more information to confirm it because he knows how these people mess around. That was so calm, and he knew that the air stank. He knew. He just needed a little more information.
I can see that.
You do understand that there are signs out front that say you're not allowed to videotape in this
Very
courthouse unless you have
graceful.
permission.
I was unaware of that, Your Honor.
Have a good day.
Thank you, sir.
Nothing from the state, correct?
That was good.
Defense.
Just, Your Honor, that this was not a request for recommendation.
Yeah, he's ice cold in a good way. Truly.
Noted for the record. You've paid Mr. Olson for services in this case?
The JAC has paid Mr. Olson.
That's going to be scrutinized. Anything else from the state?
You know why this guy is so intimidating? Because he's so literally calm, cool, and collected. And you know that he knows something or he's thinking something. And it kind of freaks you out, you know, if you're trying to get him or you're trying to trick him or something, because you don't know what he knows. He knows something, but you don't know what he knows. So you don't want to say the wrong thing. Bravo.
Because I heard the court's order. I exchanged pleasantries with Mr. Olson on the first floor as I was coming up just now. And so I'm just informing
I'm just
the court.
surprised he's here. I told him to leave this floor in this courtroom, and if there's no other business that he's here for, I'm a little befuddled by why he would be here.
He's so hot right now. Oh my God, this guy is good. I almost want to watch the case, but y'all know the judge doesn't talk that much.
Why were you having people taped outside of my courtroom
Oh
the
my
other
God.
day?
Get over.
We were concerned about a threat in need a couple of days before Thanksgiving.
What would that have to do with taping people coming outside of my courtroom, including witnesses? You didn't have permission, did you?
I'm not aware, Your Honor, there was not permissible. There was some suspicious activity on that side over there. I just asked my guy to record who was coming out of the building.
How many people did you record?
I don't know, Your Honor. I have not seen the video.
Oh my God, he's so mad. He's so mad.
Who's the gentleman who did it?
Oh my God.
It is one of our technical guys.
He needs to be here by the end of the day.
What was that? Bruce Kyle? He might have to go on the list of the keepers of justice. Judge hands down death sentence for child rapist. Hand it down.
Including both the guilty and penalty proceedings, as well as the memoranda submitted by both the state and the defense. The court has also evaluated and weighed the aggravating factors the jury has found to exist beyond a reasonable doubt and the mitigating circumstances established by the evidence. The court acknowledges that this weighing is not a quantitative comparison, but instead requires a qualitative analysis of each aggravating factor and each mitigating circumstance. The court has assigned an appropriate weight to each and finds that the aggravating factors found to exist heavily.
What are you cupping your hands for? What, you hoping for something? You praying for something? You assaulted a child and then looks like you killed the child. That's it. Show's over. It's a wrap. You're going to spend a few more years here on Earth, and then afterwards, you're going to hell. Or maybe into orbit somewhere. I'm not sure. It's over. The show's over. It's done.
Outweigh the mitigating circumstances presented. The court finds that the jury's recommendation to impose a death sentence is consistent with its verdict and is based on the evidence presented regarding the aggravating and mitigating circumstances. The court agrees with the jury's unanimous recommendation based on its own assessment of the aggravating factors weighed against the mitigating circumstances. The court finds that the aggravating factors substantially outweigh the mitigating circumstances and sufficiently warrant a sentence of death in this case. Therefore, the court finds that the sentence of death is the appropriate penalty the court should impose for the murder of 9-year-old Felicia Williams, as charged in count 1 of the indictment. Accordingly, as to count 1, for the first-degree murder of Felicia Williams, the defendant, Granville Ritchie, is hereby sentenced to death. Defendant shall be delivered into the custody of the Florida Department of Corrections at the Florida State Prison, where he shall be confined until a date certain selected by the governor of the state of Florida, and on that date, defendant shall be executed in a method provided for by the
Revive
laws
him and
of
kill
the
him
state of
again.
Florida.
Damn! I was cool with orbit. Okay, I'm here to just listen to the people. That's all. It's just funny because I was just thinking about how some people are like, I just don't agree with the death penalty. But then at the same time, they don't realize that if it was your child, some people would walk in there and pull the switch themselves. But then Raspberry said, revive him and kill him again. Lee just said, the greatest punishment for this individual. That's right. There we go. Put them in the general population. When you go to jail, if you're on death row or something, you're going to be in some type of protective custody. You're going to be in solitary confinement, basically. Because if they put you in general population, another inmate will kill you.
A lot of crimes of those sorts, you just get stabbed right away.
Immediate murder professionals.
And before they kill you, they will torture you. They will assault you because there are so many people that are in jail that were also assaulted themselves. And they see this child molester as the same person that hurt them. not only are they getting revenge on this person day to day by just, treating him like the bottom of the barrel, but eventually another prisoner is going to come along and kill them to get more clout in jail. If somebody is serving life in prison, they will kill a child molester to get more clout in jail. That's it. Put them there. Like, it's a wrap. They should share the stories of the people that are in general population and really make some people think twice.
I do have one final thing to say to you.
Oh.
There will be no corporal redemption for you. And what I mean by that is of your physical being, your person. You will remain incarcerated until the date of your death is scheduled to occur. However, I do not know what your spiritual leanings are, and it really does not matter to me either way.
Amen.
I am very grateful that I live in a country where people can believe or disbelieve anything they choose, and that applies to you equally. However, if you do ever pray to a higher power, either now or at some point before the date of your death is scheduled to occur, and you truly seek forgiveness and redemption for the sins and the crimes you have committed, I hope that you are granted it. And I do still see the humanity in you.
She's canceled. Can somebody that's Christian answer me this? Because I was raised Christian, or maybe just religious in general. Do you think that because of your religion, you might answer that way because you think God's watching and every life is valuable? I don't understand. That would definitely not have been my response to that situation. She's canceled.